Hey everyone, welcome to Building a Growth Mindset for English Learners. I'm so excited to dive into this topic today because it's something I really believe can change your whole experience with learning English.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to talk about what we call a growth mindset. Essentially, it's the belief that your abilities, particularly your English skills, aren't fixed. Instead, you can genuinely improve and develop them through dedication and consistent hard work.
Exactly. It's all about understanding that your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it and challenge it, the stronger it gets. So even if you feel stuck right now, a growth mindset tells you that with effort, you can absolutely get better at English. It's really empowering.
So, diving a bit deeper, let's talk about the two main mindsets we often see. First, there's the fixed mindset. This is when someone believes their abilities, like their intelligence or their language skills, are static and can't really change. They think, I'm either good at English or I'm not.
Oh, I know that feeling. Imagine someone saying, I've tried learning English for years, but I just don't have a talent for languages. My pronunciation will always be terrible, and I'll never understand fast speakers. That's a classic fixed mindset right there. They've decided their ability is set in stone.
Exactly. On the other hand, we have the growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities can be developed and improved through dedication, hard work, and learning from experience. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to grow.
And for English learners, that sounds like I'm struggling with phrasal verbs right now, but if I keep practicing and learning new strategies, I know I'll get better. Or I made a mistake in that conversation, but that just means I've learned something new and can try it differently next time. It's a completely different perspective, isn't it? One sees a wall, the other sees a ladder. All right, let's dive into our first big tip. And it's something I think many of us struggle with: embracing mistakes. I know, it sounds counterintuitive, right? Nobody wants to make errors, especially when you're trying to express yourself in English and you feel a bit self conscious. But here's the thing: mistakes are not failures. They're absolutely natural and genuinely essential for learning any new language. Think of a baby learning to walk. They fall down hundreds of times before they get it right. Every stumble is a learning moment.
That's a brilliant analogy, and you're absolutely right. The fear of making a mistake can often paralyze learners, preventing them from speaking or trying new structures. But a growth mindset encourages us to view these errors as valuable feedback. They show us precisely where we need to focus our attention. So, practically speaking, how can you learn from them? Well, when you notice you've made a mistake or someone corrects you, try noting it down, perhaps in a small personal mistake diary, or even just on your phone. Write down the incorrect phrase and then the correct version. Another excellent strategy is to proactively ask for clarification. If you're talking with a native speaker or a teacher, don't be shy. You can say something like, could you please correct me if I make a mistake? Or was that the right way to say it? This turns the error into an immediate learning opportunity and helps you internalize the correct usage much faster. Right, moving on to our second tip, I want to talk about a really powerful little word, yet. It's incredible how much difference this small word can make. When you're learning English, it's easy to say things like, I can't understand native speakers, or I can't write a long email. But if you add yet at the end of those sentences, I can't understand native speakers yet, or I can't write a long email yet, it completely changes the meaning. It shifts your perspective from a fixed limitation to a temporary challenge that you know you can overcome with time and effort. It implies future progress and potential.
Oh, I love that. Yet is like a secret superpower for your brain. It reminds you that you're on a journey and you haven't reached your destination, but you absolutely will. And speaking of that journey, it's so important to celebrate all the little steps along the way. We often wait for big achievements like passing an exam or having a perfect conversation to feel good about our progress. But building a growth mindset means acknowledging the small wins. Maybe you used a new idiom correctly in a sentence, or you understood a difficult phrase in a song, or you just managed to order coffee without hesitation. Those are huge. Every single one of those tiny successes builds your confidence and keeps you motivated to keep going. Don't let them pass by unnoticed. Give yourself a mental high five or even a real one. Okay, so we've talked about what a growth mindset is and why it's so powerful, But how do we actually put this into practice every single day? What are some simple habits our listeners can adopt?
That's a brilliant question, and it's all about making small, consistent efforts. One habit I always recommend is daily reflection. Just take 5 minutes at the end of your day or week. Think about what went well with your English learning, what was challenging, and importantly, what you learned from those challenges. It helps you see your progress and identify areas to focus on.
I love that. It's like a mini self check in. And building on that, another habit is setting what I call tiny achievable goals. Instead of saying, I'm going to be fluent next month, try something like, today I will use 3 new vocabulary words in a conversation, or I will listen to one English song and try to understand the chorus.
Exactly. These tiny goals build momentum and make the learning process feel much less overwhelming. And when you achieve them, you get that little boost of confidence, which is vital for a growth mindset. Another powerful habit is actively seeking constructive feedback. It can feel a bit scary at first, but it's incredibly valuable.
It really is. Don't just wait for corrections, actively ask for them. Maybe after a conversation with a native speaker or even a language exchange partner, you could say, hey, could you tell me one thing I could improve in my pronunciation? Or was there any grammar mistake I made repeatedly? That shows you're open to learning, not just afraid of being wrong. It makes a huge difference. So, to recap everything we've talked about today, remember that a growth mindset is all about believing in your ability to improve. Embrace those challenges. See them as opportunities, not roadblocks.
Exactly, and crucially, learn from your mistakes. They aren't failures, they're valuable stepping stones. Don't forget the power of yet. It truly transforms your perspective on what you haven't mastered yet.
And please, please, please celebrate your progress no matter how small. Every little win builds your confidence and keeps you motivated. Consistency is key, so keep practicing regularly.
Yes, keep practicing and stay positive. Your journey to English fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. And with a growth mindset, you're well equipped to enjoy every step of it. Believe in yourselves, learners.